Yeah.
It's a lot of niggas in the club tonight. But it's gonna be alright. Cause me and my clique, we don't give a fuck. Trick Daddy, good job, Big Daddy, good job. If you want it, you can get it, let me know. I'm about to break this thing up. Let's go. If you want it, you can get it, let me know. I'm about to break this thing up. If you want some, come get some.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to another episode of FTW Future Focus. I am your not-so-humble correspondent, Robert Black, and we are being seen all the way live worldwide, and it is a pleasure to be with you today. To my caddy corner over on this side is the silent but deadly man from Chicago, Illinois, and he has about as much use for women's professional wrestling as I do for large, overhyped squirrels predicting the weather. He is Marvelous Marcus Buckley. How you doing?
Hey, I'm straight. Speaking of weather, it's sunny and mid-40s on February in Chicago. I'm ecstatic.
Wow, so you're saying the groundhog is full of crap?
Hey, I'm not saying shit. I'm just saying it's 40s and it's in February in Chicago. I'm ecstatic.
That is an amazing thing. Speaking of amazing, directly below me is the young lady from North Carolina and the queen of Motown Wrestling Group on Facebook. She is the one and only Tigress Ty Nickerson. How you doing?
Keep them warm. It's in the 50s in North Carolina.
Well, that's unusual for North Carolina. So,
not as unusual as the weather's going to be this week. 60s and 70s all this week.
Wow.
Oh. Well, I just had my my water pipes replaced because of the sub-zero we had in Indiana. So,
no.
It'll be okay. It worked out fine. God bless you and 70s weather. And last but certainly not least, the founder of our feast, the president of FTW Network, my pal and friend, former professional wrestler, current promoter extraordinaire, the man with the plan, the mastermind, Bobby Rogers. How are you doing this post-Rumble Sunday? That is a good thing to say. Now, Motown Allen, our master of wine, women, song, and cigars, he will be popping in later on. He had a surprise trip to make, but
he's in the chat, though.
That's true. He's in the chat. He's listening right now, and
if we here in spirit.
Exactly. And he'll be here. In fact, if we say something he doesn't like, he'll likely pop up on his phone while he's driving and give us the business. But all in all, we have got the Four Musketeers here today, and we've got a lot of ground to cover because, oh my God, was it a busy weekend. Not only in wrestling, but in Indianapolis and in the wrestling world in general. Speaking of which, our first subject up for grabs today, Brock Lesnar was officially named as part of the Janel Grant lawsuit involving Vince McMahon, John Laurinaitis. Vince McDiddy. Hey, Motown called it. That's what I'm going to say.
He gonna call him Vince McDiddy. I'm gonna call him Vince McDiddler.
Exactly. But irregardless of what you want to call the man, Brock Lesnar is now involved in the lawsuit officially. John Clown Shoes Laurinaitis has been named, and strangely enough, so is Michael P.S. Hayes. I don't know how that happened, but unfortunately, the old free bird is in the old bird cage, and we're going to have to... all of that is being covered, but our first subject is, should Lesnar, because of this lawsuit, does he deserve to be punished by WWE, or has he already been punished? And
Can I take this first, please?
sure, go ahead, Marcus.
First of all, he's already been punished by the court of public opinion, and his bank account's already been punished because he would have been in the Rumble yesterday, and he would have been in Mania coming up. But I mean, I'll be damned. Haven't we just learned from Odyssey Jones 2 weeks ago? You don't jump to conclusions. You don't punish people. You don't convict them. Just based on an accusation. I mean, didn't WWE just learn that? And now what? So I mean, right now all we know is what Janelle Grant said. That's all we know. I mean, there's been examples time and time and time again of women making these accusations against celebrity men, and they're guilty in a court of public opinion, and they lose out on jobs and they lose out on money. It happens in sports, it happens in all sorts of forms of entertainment over and over and over and over again. And yes, sometimes the accusations are true, but too many times these accusations have been false, but yet they have already paid the price already. I mean, so again, he's already been punished. Instead of waiting and seeing, once again, WWE jumped to conclusions, and they still haven't learned their lesson. And I got a feeling this probably won't be the last time this happens. So to answer the question, he's already been punished millions times over.
Let me go ahead and chime in right quick. Tony just came in and said, I guess the Michael P.S. Hayes stands for Curious Sleazy.
Well, again, like Marcus just said, that remains to be seen. But Ty, how do you feel about this? Should Lesnar be punished more, or has he been punished enough?
I'm with Marcus on this. He's already been punished enough as is. His bank account's taken, like his bank account's been punished, and Lesnar's been punished as is. Had he not been punished, like Marcus stated, he would have been in the Rumble last night. But unfortunately, he wasn't. But I also want to say, WWE has not learned anything. I mean, you shouldn't. I'm also with Marcus on jumping to conclusions. You don't know what actually happened between. We don't know what actually happened between Janelle Grant and Lesnar. I think Janelle Grant is throwing accusations on Lesnar just so she can ruin his reputation even more. How do we know she's not doing the same thing with Michael PSAs? We don't know. We weren't there. I also believe in
She rose. What does she believe in?
Did she?
And Joe Henry.
And Joe Hint. Oh, good Lord. That was completely opportunistic. Well, it looks like Ty is frozen. Hopefully, she'll be able to come back on us here in a few seconds. Let me chime in on this one. I completely agree with both Marcus and Ty about this. Les. Oh, okay. Sorry about that. Go ahead, Ty. Finish your thought there.
All right. My thought on this is, I also believe into innocent until proven guilty, or guilty until proven innocent. There have been so many women that have gotten away with falsely accusing a man of something they didn't do, and then down the line, the man ends up being innocent, meaning he didn't do it, and the girl feels guilty about it. I feel like WWE needs to learn from this. You can't punish somebody yet until you hear two sides of the story, because I also believe there are three sides to every story: his side, her side, and the truth. When the truth comes out, you can start punishing the person. But on a serious note, Lesnar's already been punished enough as is. You don't need to punish him anymore.
Okay. All right, that's fair enough. And I do agree with both of you on this particular thing, even though I do have a personal the professional dislike for Brock Lesnar. He's still a human being, and there are questions as to whether he actually did anything at all to Janelle Smith, considering that according to the official report that she put out, she never did anything physical with Lesnar. She was just forced by Vince to send him pornographic material of herself, which is bad enough.
Allegedly.
Allegedly, which is bad enough if it did happen and Lesnar like received it and didn't erase it, whatever. But according to the official report, they were supposed to hook up, but Lesnar was too drunk or too incapacitated to actually go through with the act. So
it was caught in a snowstorm.
Well, yeah, either or. The fact remains that even though she did name him as like part of the lawsuit, the fact that nothing really physical happened between them whatsoever, nothing near as severe as what happened with Vince, I don't see how Lesnar should be liable for anything, financial or criminal or otherwise. So the fact that we all know why WWE is punishing him, because they have a corporate image to uphold, and the court of public opinion, as Marcus said, has already established within itself that Lesnar is guilty, which is utterly ridiculous on the face of it. We shouldn't be judging things by the court of public opinion, but because WWE is now a corporation within a corporation within a corporation, like a nesting doll, they're going to cover their own ass as much as humanly possible, and that means alienating Lesnar. Now, the next...
Hold on. I didn't even get my point.
Oh, that's where I was going to next, Bobby. I was going to give you the next thing, but irregardless of Lesnar's whether Lesnar is accused or not, the company has put him through enough already. I'm glad he wasn't in the Rumble. Let me make that specifically clear. I never want Brock Lesnar to appear in a WWE ring again. But I want that to happen because of the way he does business, and the fact that he sucks should be the reason that he's not there, not because of something this trivial and stupid, especially if he's not guilty. Bobby, go ahead.
Let me go ahead and say a couple of comments. Judge Dredd, why I'm let down from all this even more, that the Royal Rumble was trash. Even though Brock Lesnar is in deep shit with family, his wife and ex-wife lost respect. Tony says even if Vince really did have her send Lesnar pics or whatever, Lesnar did nothing wrong. He didn't ask for it. It's really messing up family life. There's innocent until proven guilty at home. LOL.
Yeah.
Okay, so everybody knows I hate Brock Lesnar.
Yes.
I mean, let's just put it out there. I don't like him. I think he should be punished for what he did to Kofi. I think it's a payback mechanism, kind of karma coming to bite him in the ass. All right, but then I got to think about it like this. It's not cool. You know what I'm saying? It's not cool. It's not cool at all to get lied on like that. That's some serious shit. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I don't want him to go down like that. I don't think he should go down like that. I mean, and Judge Dredd is right. Look at Laurinaitis and his marriage and career are destroyed. Well, number one, I don't think he should have had a career wrestling anyway. But I mean, hey, I don't like that they messed up his marriage. You know what I'm saying? It makes me mad because people jump to conclusions too damn quick instead of seeing what the actual facts was of what everything was about. They want to jump off too quickly. They want to jump off with the blame game and all this shit. They do have a corporate image. I agree with you, Rob, but that's the way today's world is. And unfortunately, you got to be squeaky clean when you get that popular and that famous. And we're at a crossroads right now to where, man, we just won't we just won't get over that hump. We won't. We as a society need to stand up and say, look, I don't care what you want to blame. I don't care how you want to point fingers, because if you point fingers that quick, what are you doing in your house? What is in your backyard? Because you quick to look at the point the fingers at somebody else instead of looking at what's going on in your own damn crib. Because I bet you any amount of money they got naked pictures of some chick in their own crib too.
I'm
I'm just
also
keeping it
going to add
100.
line on people. Sorry, I don't mean to interrupt, but I also wanted to add lying on people is wrong in general. I don't care if you're male or female. It's wrong. It's immoral, and nobody should be doing it.
Especially if it's a legal matter. If you accuse somebody of a crime.
If it's a legal matter, it's still wrong to do it, legal matter or not. Lying on people is wrong. You're messing with people's reputation, and that's how people get caught up. That's how people get killed, and everything in between. Yeah. So for anybody watching, don't lie on people. It's not right. Thanks, guys.
You just don't know. I personally am going through a similar situation right now because somebody want to sit up and lie and be on some crap. You know who it is, Rob.
Yeah, I'm familiar with the situation.
Yeah.
And you just, you have to take, even if you're like super pissed at somebody, you have to take their personal lives into consideration before you make some kind of false accusation just to screw with them.
Yeah,
and we don't know whether everything that Janel Smith is talking about is accurate, but that's going to come here in a few minutes.
Wait a minute, hold on one more second. And Tony took it right out of my mouth. If she's lying, fuck them bitches. And I agree.
Mm-hmm. Speaking of taking things out of people's mouths, let's move on to John Laurinaitis. And thank you for joining us on FTW Future Focus. Since Tony's here, since Motown is not here, I had to draw first blood. Speaking of, let's discuss John Laurinaitis. He was a lot more heavily involved with this story than Brock Lesnar was, obviously, and we all know the disgusting description of what he was involved with in terms of Vince and Janel Smith. And does Laurinaitis deserve as much punishment, if not more, than Lesnar has received from WWE or from the courts and so on and so forth? Ty, how do you feel about that?
Do I think Laurinaitis needs to be punished? Yep. Because if he was involved in it, and if Lesnar was involved in it, he got to be involved in it he's involved in it by association. You can't sit there and punish one and then not punish anybody else that was or wasn't involved in it. Mm-hmm. So it's only fair. He needs to be punished.
Okay. Marcus.
I still feel the same. For me, especially with Laurinaitis and Vince, it's not so much a matter of whether it happened or not. For me, the question is, was she or how willing of a participant was Janel Grant in these acts? Now, if Janel Grant was a willing participant in this and she got pissed because she didn't get all her money, then Laurinaitis should not have been punished at his job. Now, yeah, his wife should have divorced him. He should have been punished that way. But in terms of losing his job, that's his personal life. Again, if it happened like that. So, in my opinion, to all the facts come out and it's made known what happened, what really happened. Was this against her will or was it or not? To me, no. Maybe if anything, be paid, get administrative leave with pay, maybe, but fired. Why or did he resign? I can't remember. But the only punishment he should have gotten was he lost his family.
Well, yeah, when you screw around on your spouse, you get divorced. Them's the rules, ladies and gentlemen. And John Laurinaitis, if all of these accusations are true, and there is, we'll come back to Janelle Smith's like participation or non-participation in a minute. But when it comes to Laurinaitis specifically, first of all of this is her word against everyone else's. And I think that Laurinaitis has like admitted to some part in it, but it all of this is like highly unethical from a personal standpoint, but whether it should have affected his job or not, that calls into question whether people should have personal relationships at work at all. And in 2025, it is hardly worth it to date anyone that you work with, let alone get into this kind of situation. So the fact that Laurinaitis had anything to do with this situation speaks volumes to how his job was affected by the whole process. So
Sorry about that. I was looking up if Laurinaitis and Nikki and Bree's mama are still married. They're divorced.
Yeah, they are.
Yeah. And can you really blame them? I mean, after all of this came out, and if he did admit to it to them, then yeah, especially considering the horrible descriptions of it.
Hold on, wait a minute. I can blame them. I can blame all of them. I blame all of them. Guess why? He was making that money. They should have sat up there and did what he said and said, okay, honey, you make the money. I'm sorry. No, I'm just playing. I can't even joke.
Wow. Okay. But be that as it may, the fact, I mean, let's see where all the facts lead. Marcus is 100% on point with that. Let's see whether Janelle Smith can prove all of her accusations. If she can, then everybody's cooked. From Vince to Clown Shoes to Lesnar to.
And if she can't prove it, then she's cooked.
Yes,
No,
abso-damnedly.
No, she has nothing to. She has nothing to lose.
She ain't got nothing to lose in this situation.
Yeah.
Whenever these situations come up,
Yes, nothing.
They get away with murder.
Exactly.
They can sit up here and blame a dude for doing all types of stuff, but when it comes out the truth, look at the one case with Trevor Bauer, the pitcher for the Philadelphia Phillies. They got blamed for all that shit, and he had to leave the major leagues. He was a Cy Young pitcher winner, and had to leave the majors to go down to Mexico and Japan to play ball, and then it comes out that he ain't did shit.
Well, Bobby,
millions and millions and millions of dollars, and nothing ain't happened to this chick. Nothing.
Well,
the football player. What was the football player that was in high school going to college? Was about to get a full ride scholarship. Was projected to be like, oh, he's gonna be number one and number two in the NFL because this dude got talent. And guess what? Chick lied. He spent 6 years in fucking prison. And guess what? Come to find out, this chick was fucking lying. And they sit up there and they bullshit. Oh, well, we'll let you out. No, fuck letting me out. Give me all that fucking money that you owe me from all the shit that I fucking lost. So
well,
to jail.
To be fair, if Janelle Smith did lie, and she has already gotten $1 million of the $3 million that she was promised from Mr. Shithead. So if she's lying, then will she have to give that $1 million back from the non-disclosure agreement? Because she did technically violate that. So in principle, would she lose all her damn money? And if she's lying, then that would be completely justified. She'd end up with nothing. So
the legal ramifications of it is this. Now, this is my little specialty from college. Basically, whenever somebody does something like that, they can sue. It doesn't automatically come back. The party they got lied on has to sue that person. Okay, and then when you sue that person, you got to have such a high bar of evidence that person lied. Now, if you have them on tape saying that they lied, you have them on video saying they lied, you have written statements, that makes it a lot easier, okay? Janel Grant, though, has an excuse because if you remember at the beginning of all this, she had written text messages from Vince McMahon, which gives enough reasonable doubt that these other people were involved, John Laurinaitis and blah, blah, blah. And that's all a civil court has to have is it's not even reasonable doubt, it's even lower than that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's reasonable doubt is like 80% or 90%. What the civil courts want is 50-50. If you open that 50% threshold, you know what I'm saying? You get what you want. So they could get away with doing that because they have that low threshold. And that's what sucks. You know, I mean, it just basically sucks because guess what? Well, it's possible that you could have did it. So since it's possible that you could have did it, we can't sit up there and charge you or have you get the money back. It's bullshit. It's straight bullshit.
Okay, that conveniently leads into our last bit of business on this subject. Is Janelle Smith in any way, is she innocent or is she credible?
Can I take this first, please?
Yeah, go ahead.
Because I have a very, very strong disdain right now because stuff that I went through before. And I have a very disdain for people that like to lie and use the system as a way to try to get back at somebody. I don't believe Janelle Grant, and I'm probably going to get ran through the mud through this, and I don't care. Let me be 100% real with you. I don't think Janelle Grant was innocent in this shit. I think Janelle Grant's the opportunity to make some money, and she sat around and bullshitted and got around to doing some crazy shit. Oh, well, I did all this weird shit, so let me go ahead and make it look like this so I can get paid. Come on, man. Vince McMahon straight up. That motherfucker Vince McMahon will tell you straight up what the fuck he think because he's crazy. So you don't think you knew what the fuck you was doing in the first fucking place? Because he don't tell you exactly what he wants because he does it to wrestlers all the fucking time. He told her what he was doing. He told her what he wanted to do. And she sat up there and followed right along with it. She wanted to. She wanted to do this. And it's messed up. Because guess what? Now we got a situation to where you have people getting screwed around and messed over because people want to lie. People want to play games. People don't want to sit up here and be real with people. So guess what? Everybody gets screwed around.
And it looks like we're being joined spontaneously by the master of wine, women, and song, Tony Motown Allen. How's it going?
What's going on, guys? You know I had to jump in on this Janelle thing. I'm in chat though, but man, I'm gonna make this real quick. I'm on the road and jump on off here. Janelle is not a victim.
Nope.
Janelle. I mean, Vince McMahon did some sleazy stuff, no doubt about that. But I think she was a willing participant in the sleazy stuff because Vince McMahon also compensated her for the sleazy stuff that she's doing, or that they did.
Yep.
That is it unethical? Absolutely, it's very unethical. But if she was a willing participant and consented to that stuff, that's not against the law.
Nope.
And her credibility, in my opinion, kind of went out the window because she took a lot of money to keep her mouth shut, and she opened her mouth after she took $1 million. So, in my opinion, fuck that bitch.
Yep. You know why, don't you?
Why is that, Bobby?
Because she's on the streets.
Thank you for joining us on FTW Future Focus. Oh my God.
I have a minor next to me, so I can't really say what I want to say about the bitch. But Rob, you should be happy because there have been a couple. Thank you for joining us. If I could say what I wanted to say, but it ain't but it's not against the law for Vince McMahon to do all the stuff that he did. I know it might have got a little shitty, but it got a little shitty at a cost.
Thank
And
you
that,
for joining us on FTW. Wow.
if she agreed to do the stuff, if she agreed to take all the millions of dollars for what she did, shut the hell up about it.
Well, okay, here's what.
But I'm gonna jump off, guys. No, I might be back later.
All right, Tony, you can be in and out as you please.
Yeah, that's what he said.
Thank you for joining us on FTW. That was my fault.
If anybody like jumping in and out, it's Tony Motown Allen. That's for goddamn sure.
Thank you for joining us on FTW. Wow.
Oh, and before I go, sorry, Mom. Bye, guys.
Wow.
Ty. Bye, guys.
Oh, Lord.
Oh, God. Okay. I agree with what Bobby, what you and Tony just said, except that there's a certain caveat here that we have to consider. Janelle Smith is claiming that she really didn't want to do all these things, but she was afraid of retribution and losing her job because her boss was dictating all of this to her. And that brings up the idea of harassment in the workplace. And yeah, go ahead, Bobby.
Think about this. As many movies, as many memes, as many things when we go to our own jobs and we sit there for an hour and a half watching videos about sexual harassment in the fucking workplace. I don't care if you work at Microsoft or you work at McDonald's. You're going to have the same damn video, the same bad actors, the same bullshit, okay? As much as that is known, okay, and you know this is the owner of the fucking company, how the hell is she afraid to do? And the system that we have today that basically cherishes women to death, okay? How the hell are you afraid to say anything when you know this motherfucker got so much money till it's a damn shame? He's gonna cover that shit up. You gonna get rich if you speak up. That motherfucker wasn't scared. She knew what the fuck she was doing.
I'm not saying that I believe her. I'm just saying that that's what's alleged in the overall lawsuit and complaint here.
I know what's alleged in her pocket.
Well, yes, she's already gotten $1 million from Vince McMahon. She was promised 3, and that leads everything into suspicion with everything that she's saying. But there is a point to be made here that if you are the CEO of a major corporation, or if you're the owner of a multi-billion-dollar business in an industry that is notorious for sexual malpractice like professional wrestling is, why in the name of God, no matter how attractive you are to an employee, why would you risk that? And granted, Vince McMahon can be a twisted human being and doesn't give a damn about any of that because he's a multi-billionaire and just doesn't care. But at the end of the day, what this question comes down to is, do you believe that Vince McMahon is intimidating enough to force a woman to bend to his will at 60, 70, 80 years of age to have freaky sex in the workplace and her to actively participate in it just because she wants money? Is she scared, or is she vindictive?
Okay.
And to me, the jury is still out on that. I can't say that for absolute certain. Even though I doubt her story, it's still got to all come out.
Can I answer that?
Okay.
You asked the question. I'm glad to answer. Ty, don't look at me like that. She got that look on her face.
Well, we'll let Ty go next after your rebuttal here.
Ty looks like she ready to kill me. I'm getting scared over here. But anyway, I have a
No,
problem. I have a problem with this. You're supposed to believe the woman right off top thing. I have a problem with that. I seriously have a problem with that because I know how women can lie. Most of us men know how women can lie. We know they can play games. They can play with your heart. They can play with your mind. They can play with your soul. They can play with their tongue and tell you so much bullshit till you think that you fucking shitting out fucking rainbows. I'm telling you, it's fucked up because the society says you should do one thing, but in reality you should be doing something the fuck else. It said, hold the fuck up. Where's the facts behind of what you're saying? Where's the facts of what you were doing? Where's the facts of everything that's going on? Where's the facts of that water that she's drinking right now? I mean, that's the point that I'm making is we jump to conclusions. We are so ready to point the fucking fingers and say, look what you did. Nah, 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 nah. It's like we back in fucking kindergarten again, dealing with adult fucking issues that can deal with somebody's fucking livelihood. It's sickening. It's ridiculous. And it needs to fucking stop. I hate saying it because I know women go through shit, okay? I'm not a woman hater. I love women. I do. I like having two or three at the same time. But anyway,
Thank
it,
you for joining us on
it comes to a
FTW.
point of to where we need to stop just assuming that these women are all right off top. And we need to start investigating this shit and waiting until all the facts come out. If the facts come out and the dude's a douchebag, the dude's a fucking douchebag. But they also need to put something in place to where if a woman is telling a lie, she is fried worse than Kentucky Fried Chicken. I mean, it just comes down to it. Now we got oh, and when we talk about the power structure here, everybody says, well, he has all this money and that's why he can convince the chick. Ty, you gonna get mad at me about saying this, but I'm just gonna just keep it 100 real. And you know it because you probably got friends that's like this. Most of these women see money and they lose their fucking brain. They don't give a fuck what the dude looks like, how they get talked to, how they get treated. They see a whole bunch of fucking money and they will do whatever it is to stick around because they want to get on planes. They want to get up, they want to do this and they want to go here and they want to go there. Well, guess what I say? Stop getting welfare and get your ass up and get a job.
Okay.
All you lazy motherfuckers that want to live on men and take you there, and don't be serious about them, and don't want to be in a true relationship with them. Not the ones that love these dudes and want to be with them. Those, no, I'm not talking about you. I'm talking about these fucking hoes, and I'm gonna keep it 100. These fucking hoes and sit up here and want to use men and try to get free dinners, free trips, free gas, free food in their refrigeration, free fucking hair weave, free fucking nails, free fucking eyelashes, free fucking ass and titties put in their ass because they ain't got none when they was fucking born. I'm sorry.
Thank you for joining us on FTW Future Focus.
It's 100. I'm gonna be the dude here that everybody hates because I don't give a fuck. We need to stop the shit because it's wrong.
Oh, just wait until the Rumble review.
Oh well, hold on. Judge Dredd such and stuff. Not to mention back in the 80s, there was a serious allegation of underage green boys to work. Yeah, we know about that. The man brought everything on himself without paying a woman that he had under an NDA contract. He broke contracts when the lady spoke out. I agree with the mastermind to an extent, but this was an educated woman that was brought to the table on getting paid on sexual favors. Why was he paying big money? But before there was another woman in the 80s that basically had issues with it. So, okay, Judge Dredd, I do agree with you. I agree with you 100%, but it goes back to what I'm saying, man. She was an educated woman. She knew about the power structure and the structure of what goes on in the company. She knew she could get paid from this motherfucker. I'm sorry. I don't believe her 100. I don't believe that she didn't know what the fuck was going on at all. I don't think she knew the extent of what the fuck she had to do, but I think she knew what the fuck was going on.
Okay, Ty, we're going to give you as much time as you need. Is Janelle Smith innocent or not so innocent?
And please don't dismiss no more as Grant.
Grant, sorry, Janelle Grant. Sorry. But Ty, you've got the floor.
Was she a victim? Hell no. Because first of all, if she was a victim, she would have never took that money. and she would have never consented to all that stuff Vince McMahon, John Laurinaitis, and whoever else was involved that they did to her. So hell no, I don't think she's a victim. And I'm gonna tell you this, and I'm gonna tell you this right now. I also want to piggyback on what Mastermind says. It's not just women that lie on these men. You got men that lie on women too.
Mhm.
I know what y'all thinking. I'm making this a not all men lie. Okay, I get that,
Some men
but
lie on women too. Yeah, I
but
agree.
I don't care. Like, but the point is, I don't care, male or female. Everybody has been lied on by somebody. And I feel like the person that's lying on them, they're doing that to be vindictive. They're being spiteful. And I feel like Janelle Grant is doing that to be vindictive, spiteful, and she trying to get the bag. And I hope she becomes legally responsible and pay all that money back because she needs to understand Janelle Grant, Karma's a fucking bitch. And I hope you choke on Karma's dick and swallow it through too.
Thank you for joining. Wow, I
No,
wasn't expecting that from
I'm
Ty.
serious. I am so serious. Janelle Grant's not a victim. She's been, and like I said before, when we last talked about this, she is a spiteful, vindictive sugar baby, thinking she gonna get the bag and get away with it. No, sweetheart. Every action has a reaction, and it has a consequence. And ma'am, you gonna find that out in the end.
Wow.
I'm scared.
Uh, Marcus, do you have anything to add to this?
Well, you know what? I don't know if she is or she isn't, but I would just love to be able to ask some questions. Like, okay, if she was so, intimidated or, um, you know, scared or whatever, why did she go to work every morning? Why did she just resign? I mean,
Mm.
she's an educated woman. She could have got another job, I would think. So why did she resign?
Exactly.
Why didn't she move out of that building that she lived in with Vince? Okay, I'm just wondering if she was so scared. Why didn't she just move? Why did she resign her job? And I asked this question months back. Okay, if you're whether what type of sexual act that she was obviously coherent enough to be performing that she did not realize somebody is standing there as bent over and getting ready to drop a turd on her head. Was she just covered in shit or is she full of shit? I don't know. But
Thank you for
but
joining us on
but,
FTW
I
Future.
still think
but
Janelle Grant's full of shit.
right.
I said what I
mean,
said.
maybe
Y'all
both.
leave me alone.
I mean, those are just questions I ask. I mean, maybe there'll be an answer for them at some time, maybe down the line. But you know, I mean, did I mean she said from what I was told, she sent Brock that picture. Again, is she? I've never been under mind control. I've never been drugged. I don't have any type of mental illnesses, so maybe I'm speaking out of pocket. But generally, from my understanding, if a woman sends you a naked picture of themselves, generally because they wanted to do it,
Yep.
usually, unless of course, there are exceptions. Somebody stole their phone, yada yada yada. But I would say 90% of the time they did it on their own. Okay, so I mean, based on everything things that I've heard so far from her side, and again, it's only been her side. My question is, sounds like a lot of stuff you would have needed to have been done willingly to me. Now,
Hmm.
now we've heard over the years Vince can be very persuasive. I mean, I mean, and yeah, sure, but but so are a lot of men, so are a lot of women that can convince somebody to do something they may or may not want to do. But again,
Boy.
but then again, you did it. As you always say, ignorance is not an excuse. Okay.
Yep.
I mean, we hear that all the time. So basically, to me, until I hear something differently. But as of this moment, Janelle sounds like she's full of shit. She sounds like somebody that's scorned. She was promised 3 million plus whatever else she may have been promised, and she didn't get it. So she said, "Well, if you gonna come give it to me, I'm gonna get it one way or the other." And as of right now, that's what it sounds like to me.
Well, hold on. Let me go ahead and jump in what Tony said. Tony said, "I've never had a woman unwillingly send me nudes." Judge Dredd said, "The deed is done," as they say. And then he said, "I've been told no more, but yes, never had someone tell them that they didn't want to." And you know what? I got to give y'all props on that. That's 100% correct. Because guess what? I ain't had no chick send me nudes. She didn't want to do it. All my nudes came willingly and flowingly. I had to block somebody from sending me too many fucking nudes.
Wow.
Yeah, well, that chick was wild, man. She was like, "Oh yeah, what? You can handle this," and I'm like, "No, I don't want to handle that." "Oh, what? That don't turn you on? Look at this. I don't want to look. I don't want that." I mean, we talk about men, people being persuasive, and you know what? I'm sorry. Women can be some of the most persuasive beings on this earth when they want to be. They can put on those eyes and pout those lips just so, and cock their head in a 32-degree angle and be like, "Oh, I need it, I heat and blah 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 and blah blah."
Well,
I'm not going to deny that as a woman because I admit I can be persuasive to
Yep.
an extent.
You know you can.
I own up to
You're
that.
a pimp, Ty. You're a pimp. Tell the truth. You're a pimp. You pimp him, Ty. You pimp him.
thank you for joining us on FTW Future Focus.
Ty be like, "Kenny, get rid of that lightweight. Forget Rio."
Oh no, enough with the Rio hate. Oh, good Lord. Anyway, eventually all of this literal crap is going to come out and more than likely hit the fan. And when it does, we will cover it as best we can, hopefully with paper towels and Formula 409.
Yes.
Speaking of which, Bobby, you have some announcements to make, so we'll take this time to make them.
Speaking about being a rap, we also got to talk about what we get when we going on. It's Super Bowl time coming up. You got to get that food and that grub going. We just had Royal Rumble yesterday. Had to get that food going and grumble and going. And then we got future events coming up. So guess what? The one thing that almost everybody on this panel likes is a good juicy steak. And if you're in the Indianapolis area, there's only one place that you can't beat their meat, and that's the Meat Shop of Indianapolis. That's right. You can't beat their meat. They got some of the lowest prices there is in the Indianapolis area. You get anything from ribeyes, T-bones, chuck steak. You even got packages. I mean, some of their packages are some of the most reasonable things on earth. And I would love for you guys to go check them out because I'm telling you, I get my steaks from there. They're fire. Good quality meat. Don't have to worry about all that crazy stuff you get out of the regular stores. And they're good people there too. So go down there, 1221 South High School Road, Indianapolis, Indiana. Remember, the Meat Shop of Indianapolis, you can beat a lot of things, but you sure as hell can't beat that meat.
Lovely. There, but since that was an advertisement, we're not gonna ding it. So, very nice stuff, Bobby. Thank you.
That's what she said.
Thank you for joining us on FTW. That one counts. All right, moving on to the ironically, the major meat of our show today. Thank you for joining us on FTW Future Focus as we move on to the Royal Rumble review. And boy, oh boy, was there a lot to talk about here. First of all, according to the activity sheet that I've got in front of me, we're going to start off. No, we're not going to go in order. We're going to start off with the regular matches of the night first. Then we're going to cover the Women's Royal Rumble and then the men's. So, our first item up for bid is the the WWE Tag Title match, the Motor City Machine Guns taking on DIY. And Ty, we're going to start with you. What did you think of this match?
I give this 3.95.
Okay.
Do I think Motor City Machine Gun should have won? Absolutely. But like I said, I got to deal with Regeneration X, retain the titles. But match wise, I like the momentum and a little bit of the chemistry they had between DIY and Motor City Machine Guns. But I also think Motor City Machine Guns should have won, should have got their lick back. That's just me. Everybody else has a different opinion. But the match was not too bad. It was good. 3.95.
Okay. Marcus?
I gave the match 3.25. I liked the match. I thought both teams had good chemistry. Um, I love the way the first fall ended because I don't know about any of you guys, but I had never seen that before, where they act like they're going to do a tag and they don't, and then throws the other competitor off as he's still the legal man. That was the first time in all my years I've seen that done in a tag match. To me, I would have gave the match higher if it was just one fall. Even though I liked the way the first fall ended, I would have preferred just been a regular traditional tag match. I think it would have flowed better. I think the breaks between pinfalls kind of took the momentum of the match and had to start it back up. But overall, I thought it was a good match, particularly the way it ended, which I'll come back to later. But for me, I would have scored higher. It was just like I said, just a regular one fall match, so I gave it 3.25.
Okay. I gave this 3.75, 3.75, but it wasn't because it was a decent match, but it should have been much more. This was what I had pegged as my match of the night. I thought it was going to be like in the 4.5, 4.75, if not 5-star range, but it wasn't. And what really upset me about this is that this match suffered because it was, number one, it was rushed. Number two, they took the gimmick, the premise of the match, and they completely screwed it up. If they weren't going to use the 2 out of 3 falls stipulation to make this a longer match that really let Sabin, Shelley, Gargano, and Ciampa show out at this event, then they shouldn't have just had it. It should have been one fall if that's all they were going to do. I agree that the first fall ending was very smart, but it should have been like the ending of the third fall, not the end of the first. If they were going to go that route and make DIY into geniuses and winning that way, then it should have ended the entire match, not just the first fall. And just the reasons that this match were rushed, which we'll get to later, really, really ticked me off. This should have been a much better match than it was, but at the end, because of the quality performances of everyone involved, I gave it 3.75 because even though it didn't rise to the occasion, it was still good. Now, I like the Street Profits. Always like the Street Profits. They have a great style, but their interference just absolutely killed this match. I would have rated it like much higher if not for their interference and the fact that they're trying to make something out of this instead of waiting for the match to unfold and then them just taking the whole damn spotlight away. That bothered me too. But I love the Motor City Machine Guns. Shelley and Sabin are just fantastic performers, and they should have been allowed to show out, but they were. I think that this match was booked to suffer, and that's a big problem for me. So it only gets 3 3/4. Bobby?
Tony said he thinks he's Mr. No Fun. He rated it a 2.5. Tony, I'm taking your title. You ain't Mr. No Fun in this match. I am. I hated this fucking match. I hated everything about this fucking match. This match was garbage. And it was because of one person in there that I'm going to say it was garbage. And that was Garbaggio. Joey Garbaggio is the worst. Why is he even around? Tommaso Ciampa, I've seen in the Indies. It was in Bloomington. Wrestling for the Federation in Infinity Pro Wrestling.
Mm-hmm.
He fought GT Vega. Dude is an awesome talent. But this is the problem. Motor City Machine Guns have these days, and you can look through TNA history and everywhere they went, to where they are on point for like 6 matches, and that 7th match, they're just off. This is that match that they were off. And it sucked. I don't know what it is about Motor City Machine Guns, but they can't do that pace and that style all the time, day in and day out. It's always 1 out of 6, 1 out of 7, or 1 out of 8 matches. If they come and it's just like, yeah. And then you got Garbaggio there that don't make it any better. And only one is Ciampa sitting up there like, hey, what's going on, guys? You know. Unfortunately, Motor City Machine Guns didn't have it that night, and everybody deserves an off night. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And Motor City Machine Guns had one. And plus, where they were placed in the card, I think that kind of affected them too. But at the same time, you got Garbaggio in there. Him and his wife need to go somewhere. They need to go back to the Indies, or they need to just disappear. I can't stand either one of them. I think they're a waste of fucking ring time and data on a fucking video machine. And they really.
Okay, Bobby, follow up.
Let me say this. Rob, you're going to flip when I say this. I dislike both of them so much, I don't even think they belong in AEW.
Wow. Okay. That's well, I mean, that's fair enough. I mean, you can have not everybody likes Johnny Wrestling, but here's a follow-up.
Johnny Wrestling.
That's what they call him.
They need to call him something else.
Johnny Come Lately.
Johnny Garbage. That's what they need to call him.
Okay.
Johnny Toxic Waste.
Well, Bobby, here's my follow-up question. Do you think the match suffered more because of what the performers were doing or because they were told to cut the match short? Because I think it really suffered because they were told to cut the match short. They should have gone 25 minutes instead of like 12 or 13 what they did. It was too abbreviated for a 2 out of 3 falls match. They should have had more time.
I think it was a combination of both. Garbaggio, the Motor City Machine Guns having an off night, and also their time being shortened. I think it was a combination of all three. I don't think one overlapped the other one because I think you had the perfect storm there for it to be a fucked up match.
Okay, so what was your rating again?
1.75.
Oh, damn, that's brutal.
Man.
Speaking of brutal, the next match on the docket is the undisputed WWE Championship ladder match, Cody Rhodes versus Kevin Owens. I think I'll go first on this one because I might surprise some people. I gave this a 4. Even though I made the wrong prediction and thought that Kevin Owens was going to win this, I don't feel bad that Cody pulled it out. They're delaying the inevitable, obviously, because I seriously doubt that there is any way on God's green earth that Cody Rhodes is going to walk out of WrestleMania with the WWE title. I seriously doubt that is going to happen. They've been waiting to reverse course on him for a year, so I seriously doubt that. But this match was brutal to the point of cringing every time somebody took a bump on those ladders, which is what is a ladder match is supposed to be. They did some damn good spots with it, especially the last one, where it was perfectly. I wondered for a minute whether Owens was legitimately injured or not. Probably not. And he sold it like an absolute champion. So the only reason that this doesn't get a higher score than a 4 for me, which it absolutely could have, is because of the damn step ladder thing. That was a touch much. They could have used a chair instead, and it would have been a whole lot more brutal. I think that Kevin Owens had a big part of booking this, of planning out this match, and that he was trying to be a smart ass with certain things, and the step ladder thing was one of them. And cutting off the flip flop and fly with the ladder piece, which I mean it had its own charm to it, but there were too many homages, especially to fucking Hornswoggle, which didn't need to happen, and the commentary pointed that out. But aside from those things, it was a great match, a brutal one. I wish both men could have bled instead of just Owens at the end, but you can't have everything because it's WWE and it's corporate. But all in all, it was a good, solid, brutal match, and it gets a 4 for me. Ty, what do you think?
This match for me also gets a 4 for me.
Mm-hmm.
I love the feud between Cody and Kevin and Owens.
Mm-hmm.
I do. It leaves you wanting more and at some point. And this match, I wouldn't say it wasn't that bad. I wouldn't say it wasn't that good. It was the gray area for me. So, like I said, this match gets a 4.
Cool. Marcus, what do you got?
I gave this match 3.75. I thought it was good, not great. Like I said, the ladder shots that Kevin Owens were taking, oh my God, there's no way in hell. This is why I never became a professional wrestler, because ain't no way in hell I would be doing that shit. Like, I want to walk. I'm 53 and I'm glad I can still walk. I can still lift my back, because that's ain't no way in hell I'm doing that stuff. I think they told a pretty good story. I don't know. It's just, I said, I thought it was good, not great. I was kind of thrown off when Sami Zayn came out, because when he came out, I just like, oh shit, they about to screw Cody.
Yeah.
But he really didn't do anything. So I'm kind of scratching my head to like, why did he come out instead of just another backstage agent or some indie wrestler in a suit or something like that? You know, I don't know. I was kind of confused about that. But overall, like I said, decent match. You know, 3 3/4.
There was a lot of bait and switch last night. And I think that was like sort of where all of that started, and it kind of bled into later. But again, we'll get to that in a minute. Bobby, what did you rate the ladder match?
You're going to be surprised when I say this, because of what type of match it was. Usually I downgrade these matches.
Mm-hmm.
I don't like all the furniture and all that. I don't, and I didn't think Cody fit the mold of a ladder match, so to speak. I know Kevin's done it before. I've seen Kevin Owens slash Steen slash I don't know what other fucking last name you want to give him, but I've seen him do it, so I know he can do the ladder match. I wasn't too sure about Cody. After watching this match, I'm like, what the fuck? Cody got my eyes open. Cody had my jaw dropping. I was jumping up and down watching this match more than anything. This match got me pumped. It was my match of the night. I gave it a 5 because Cody showed out on this. And there's a lot of underlying things that people ain't recognizing in here. And I'm going to put this prediction out now. Just like I spoke about, I've been wrong a couple of times lately, but I'm sorry. When you Marcus, I had the same damn thing, the same thoughts when
Sammy.
not Kobe, but
Sammy came out.
Sami Zayn came out. I thought he was going to help Kevin get that fucking title. I thought he was going to climb up that ladder, take the titles down and hand them to him. And then they could declare Kevin Owens the winner and get wheeled out. That's what I thought. But it's breadcrumbs that we have been fed until this time. Think about the meetings that Sami Zayn has had with wrestlers on SmackDown or Raw, where they've said you need to look out for yourself. You're always looking after the tribal chief. You're always looking after this person, but you never look for yourself. You're goofy because you don't look out for yourself. You help everybody else. You're a dumbass because you look after everybody else and don't look out for yourself. He ran out there looking like he was going to save somebody. And when Cody snapped and he was standing over everybody, and that made in Sami Zayn's eyes look like, wait a minute, Cody ain't as cool as I thought he was. Maybe I should go after him. That's why during the post-press conference, it was known that, well, we'll discuss that part later. But something was made known later on to why I'm thinking, and people are going to think I'm crazy, it's either going to be night one or night two, main event of WrestleMania, Sami Zayn versus Cody Rhodes, and Cody's going to lose that title. Because he's going to start thinking about himself. And once he starts thinking about himself, he's going to go on a run. And that moment for Sami Zayn is going to happen. Just like I have another prediction about WrestleMania to where you're going to have 2 moments that's going to happen that night. So I think we are in for a little treat and a little twist. I hate putting predictions, but I think I'm giving you a spoiler right about now. Sami Zayn is going to be champion here coming up very soon.
That is very, very bold. That would indeed come out of left field, and I can't say that I would be unhappy about it.
But think about how things is going in the breadcrumbs has been. And that's why I had to look at it and wonder, why was Sammy coming out there? You know what I'm saying? I thought it was going to happen that night. And Tony looked at me like I was crazy, like, no, they ain't going to do it tonight. And I'm like, he didn't think it was going to happen at all. But once it started happening, and I was like, okay, well, because I thought he was going to end up winning. Well, I'll let this bit out. I thought he was going to win the Royal Rumble and do something. But that didn't happen.
You know, strangely enough, Sami Zayn did have the magic number last night. He came out at 27, which is the winningest number in Royal Rumble history. But you know, we'll get there as soon as we can. First, we have to cover the Women's Rumble.
Yep.
And first, we're going to give our star rating for it. And then we're going to go over opinion on the winners. Should there have been a different winner? Biggest surprise, biggest save, and best elimination. I think I'll start out with this one because, you know, I'll try to set the template here. I gave the Women's Rumble 4.25 stars. Once again, in these specialty matches, from my view, the women outshined the men again this year. And for whatever reason, I think it's because the women's Rumble is less predictable. I mean, we all pretty much figured that Charlotte was going to win, but we didn't really know how they were going to get there. It was just a bouillabaisse of good stuff going on, and people that uh, really had a shot at being part of the show, and there was nothing offensive about it. The women's rumble had really nothing that I had to argue against, which was a very big plus for it. But for me, I agreed with the winner. I think that that Charlotte was the person best suited. She's coming back from injury. She's been away for a long time, and she has the potential to make us believe that she could win or lose the belt going into WrestleMania night 1 or 2. So I totally get why they put Charlotte over. Um, should there have been a different winner? I don't think so. I mean, the only other winner that I would have thought would have worked would have been either Roxanne Perez or
Oh,
Becky Lynch, but she never came out there. Which to me, the biggest surprise was that Alexa Bliss came back because she was supposed to be having contract negotiation problems, but apparently those got either solved at the last minute or was a complete work. So I was surprised that Alexa Bliss came out. The best save, I would probably that's kind of a question I'm going to have to pass on because there were a lot of saves that happened at totally different times, so that was kind of hard for me to determine. So I'm going to leave that one blank. But the best elimination in that match by far was the Naya taking out 5 or 6 people that were on the apron and they all piled onto the floor at once toward the end. That was actually a cool visual, and I'm surprised that it's never been done before because a lot of over the top to the apron and then getting bumped off first. That happens a lot in the women's Royal Rumble because in order you have to have height in order to get over the top rope in the first place, and a lot of the ladies don't have the height, so they have to be like flipped over the top, land on the apron, and then bumped as a matter of course. But doing it en masse like that was something we've never seen before, but it was interesting that they gave Naya that much, and I think that she holds the record because of that for most eliminations in a women's Royal Rumble. So that covers it for me. I gave it 4.25 overall, and I thought and that was my match of the night, the women's Rumble match. And since Marcus loves women's wrestling so much, let's go to him.
Yes,
I,
yes, 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 yes.
I gave the match a 3. I thought it was okay. My problem with the match is, well, what gave higher is, to me, in my opinion, they didn't put the shine on anybody. I mean, I think it was a foregone conclusion. I think we knew if Charlotte was going to be in the match, she was going to win. But to me, one thing that was disappointing to me was if I hadn't watched TNA before, I would be like, what the fuck is the big deal about Jordynne Grace? To me, in my opinion, they did nothing to showcase her. I mean, I thought they should have did her the way they did Rusev years ago, where she eliminated 6 or 7 people and looked dominant in that to introduce their audience to her more, in case that like people didn't see TNA or watch that 1 or 2 matches she did in NXT before. So that was kind of disappointing to me. It's like her parents was like, that's it, Jordan Grace, that's your big signing. That's what I would have thought if I wasn't familiar with her work before. To me, the best save was when Bianca pulled Naomi out the way and Piper Niven went over the top. I thought that was the biggest save. For me, the biggest surprise was that Becky Lynch and Ahsoka didn't come back.
Yeah, Asuka.
Yeah, Asuka. I'm sorry, Asuka. Yeah, I really thought, especially Becky, was going to be in this match. So I was kind of surprised that neither one of them didn't appear. And then what was the other category? The best elimination.
Best elimination.
Like, yeah, I agree with you, Rob. When Nia introduced when he eliminated 5-6 women, I was pissed that my Chocolate Thunder was part of it. I ain't gonna lie, but still, nonetheless, I knew she wasn't gonna win. So, but that was cool. It's been a long time since I've seen anything like that. But and to me, they didn't. Usually, they use the Rumble to kind of start planting the seeds toward where they're going toward Mania, and I don't think this match did that, in my opinion. So that kind of took away from it as well. So I only gave it a 3.
Okay, Ty.
Yeah, I give this a 3.35. It would have been better if Asuka would have returned, Becky. But the only thing I do agree with Marcus on is Jordan Grace's debut wasn't hyped.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if you're gonna debut a superstar, you gotta hype them up, right? You gotta give your fans a reason why they should watch WWE. And I've seen Jordan Grace in TNA when she debuted, like before she got swole and muscle bound, to how she looks now. Basically, her debut was just, I wouldn't say pointless. I just think her debut was
underwhelming.
Underwhelming, yeah, underwhelming. And like I said before, if you're gonna have Jordan Grace debut, you gotta hype her up. You gotta make it overwhelming. You gotta make it has to be on point. It has to. I don't have like I said, the biggest save was also Bianca and Naomi. The most eliminations, Nia Jax. And I wasn't surprised that Charlotte Flair was gonna win because I predicted Charlotte Flair was gonna win. Now, do I think they should have picked a different winner? Absolutely. Because y'all can't have Charlotte winning anything and everything all the time. And I'm sorry. Somebody else should have won. The best parts for me was the return of Alexa Bliss and Jada Parker being in the Rumble.
Mm. Cool.
Who would you have picked?
I'm sorry?
Who
did you want to win?
Who would you have
Who did
picked?
I want to win the Women's Rumble?
If not Charlotte, who would your choice have been?
I would have picked Alexa.
Okay.
Ah, okay. Well, that does make sense. I mean, I think that the reason that Charlotte went over in the end, it not only because of her popularity and marketability, but because they wanted her to be the first person to win to be the double winner of the Rumble. They wanted her to be the first woman to win it twice. I think that's one of the main reasons that she went over. There were other people in the match and I loved Roxanne Perez in this. The fact that she set the record, I don't like the fact that she had to take it away from Bayley, but I liked Roxanne Perez's performance here. It does sound like Bobby disagrees with me vehemently, so I'll give you the floor. What did you think of this match,
I
man?
can't stand that little 12-year-old looking girl. Rio look more grown than she do. Okay,
Really?
yeah, that's a little harsh.
You gave
That's a little harsh.
Riho a backhanded compliment.
That's a little harsh, yeah. But all I can say is this though: Roxanne Perez got slapped more times than a Will Smith rerun. I can tell you that. They was slapping the shit out of each other that match.
Yeah.
Um, winner. Uh, I'm disappointed. I'm going to be the one to say I'm disappointed that Charlotte won. I think Jordan Gray should have won. Tony made some good points when we were watching it, saying, they're not going to give it to her this soon. She just signed with them to be a WWE superstar. You know what I'm saying? Blah blah blah. And because of that, she's not going to win. But I still think they should have gave it to her anyway. Jordan Grace is one of the faces that, if you really want to put it out there, they need to put it out there so that she can be seen. They need to give the emphasis that TNA is not a joke. TNA is here because they're a quality person, they're a quality product, and we want them joining with us. And they made a very weak corporate statement along with a statement for the locker room with that. Jordan Grace should have been showcased a lot better. I agree with Ty with that 100%. Actually, Jordan Grace, in my opinion, should have won, but people think I'm crazy, which I got my straight jacket to prove it. Anyway, the next thing is that when we talk about the biggest surprise, my biggest surprise was along the line of Marcus, but it wasn't those two competitors. Mine was Jade Cargill not coming in.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
that's
was
true.
expecting Jade Cargill to come in, and when Naomi was taking up for Jordan, and Bianca got into it with Naomi, I was thinking Jade was going to come in and team with them for a little bit, and then eliminate both of them, and she was going to be back to her heel ways. She didn't come out.
Mm-hmm.
So that was very disappointing. Very disappointing. Who should have won? I already said Jordan Grace. It just hands down, in my opinion. And everybody could think I'm stupid, but Jordan Grace should have won that. And I think it'd have been good marketing wise, along with giving her what she's deserved of what she's been through the last 12, 14 years of her wrestling. I think she could be. Go ahead.
Well, I have my own suspicions about that, but we covered that last week. So, we're talking about making TNA look good. But I digress. Go ahead.
Best save. I gotta agree with everybody on the panel on that one. Same thing. And the best elimination, I agree with it because it deals with my baby Nia Jax. That's right. My baby threw everybody out. She tossed them. She looked good sitting there like that with her little outfit on and her hair all puffed out. And she just tossed people like she was throwing out trash on Wednesday morning. I love Nia Jax.
And she was in the final three, so yeah.
Yes, she could be my final one. Call me. Call me, Nia.
Thank you for joining us on FTW Future.
My rating for this match, though, it still was a damn good rumble. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I'm gonna give it I'm gonna give it a 4.5.
Wow, cool.
I give it a 4.5, but I'm still disappointed, and she didn't. I mean, they just did Jordan Grace like they did.
Yeah, you rated it higher than me, so wow, that's very cool. And finally, the men's Royal Rumble match. And I am, since I took the women's Rumble first, I don't want to take the men's first. So I'll let Ty lead this one out first because I've got my thoughts on this.
Okay, I didn't watch the men's part, but I'm gonna do the best I can to try to give this a rating. The rating for me was a 3. The only good thing about it was TNA champion Joe Hendry being in the Rumble. I also liked the return of AJ Styles, and he finally got his old theme music back. Don't get me wrong, I low key loved his new entrance theme, but his old theme was better. Don't get me wrong. Um, I'm glad, like I said, ugh, biggest save for me. I don't have one. I'm gonna have to leave that blank. Um, the another good thing about the men's rumble, Cena's face afterwards, after he got eliminated. Him and that ball spot got eliminated from the rumble.
Hmm.
I said what I had to say. I said
Okay.
what I said.
Alrighty. Marcus, you want to chime in?
I gave this match 4.25. I really enjoyed it. In terms of the only thing I would have changed about this match is I kind of would have had to. I wouldn't have had that many stars come in after 20. I would have spread them out a little bit more throughout the Rumble because it was kind of dull there for a
By
minute.
spread them out, you mean have each one come in different numbers,
Yeah,
or
yeah, kind of like I would have a couple of the bigger names. I mean, I know Roman came in, I think it was 16, I think, or something like that. But I would have like a bigger name come in, a couple of the bigger guys come in earlier. But that's
yeah,
just
like
that,
yeah,
that's
that would have been a good idea.
yeah, that's just a little nitpick thing on my part. But in terms of the biggest surprise for me was the winner. Jay Uso winning was the biggest surprise for me. Um, the best,
See?
the biggest elimination to me was when, that whole last sequence of Punk eliminating Seth and Roman, then Logan Paul coming in and eliminating him after that. Um, I'm with you, Ty. I don't really remember there being a save, a bigger save to me that I can recall. So I kind of left that one blank. And I have mixed feelings about who should have won. I mean, there's no question that Jay Uso is arguably the most over wrestler in the company right now. But at the same time, like I said last week, he's not a good wrestler. I mean, his work is sloppy as diarrhea shit. I mean, it's just, I mean, it's just, I mean, he really to me. I just don't think the matches whoever he wrestles at Mania, assuming that's what's going to happen, I'm going to guess it's going to be Gunther because they
Yep,
already been laying
it's Gunther.
because they laid the seeds. They've been laying the seeds for that match the last couple of weeks, talking about he's never beaten Gunther, yada yada yada. So that's my guess right there on night one. But at the same time, I was talking to Tony about this, and it's like it's a damn shame that watching a Rumble, there's really only going to be two, maybe three guys that got a realistic chance of winning, and they totally. I don't think anybody really picked Jey Uso to win this match that was watching it.
I
So
picked AJ to win. That's who should have won.
yeah, right. So I mean, so I can't really complain about it. But in terms of saying who would win, I mean, I thought it was going to be Cena. I really would have bet money on Cena, and my second pick would have been Roman, which would have been the same old stuff over and over and over again. So, I'm cool with Jey Uso winning. Or somebody like Jey Uso. I just wish it would have been a better somebody that was going to put on a better match in terms of that. But the thing that I like the most about the men's Rumble was now going into Mania they have laid the seeds to go in so many different directions. I mean, is it going to be Seth versus Roman, or is it going to be Roman versus Punk? I mean, there's a bunch of we don't know which way they're going to go. It's not
Oh,
predictable.
I was reading about that. Somebody
So
posted in the group that they were talking about they were gonna do Roman and then add Punk to it and Rollins to the equation.
yeah, I hope it be no goddamn 3-way. I really hope not.
I
Yeah.
think all of this is setting up for Elimination Chamber.
Yeah,
Yeah, they
That
said,
all of
yeah,
these, yeah,
right.
Marcus
all of these
Cummings.
guys are,
Yeah,
yeah, all of these guys are going to be involved in Elimination Chamber. That's the issue they're building toward, and then after that, we're gonna separate.
right,
Yeah,
right.
Marcus Cummings in from the group said that Poster said that we could possibly see Roman Reigns versus Seth Rollins versus CM Punk at WrestleMania, and it said all three wrestlers were going after each other after they got eliminated last night.
Right. And I think that's the whole purpose of Mania is to start laying the foundation toward which way they're going toward Mania. And that's what I think the biggest difference between the men's rumble and the women's rumble was, in my opinion. That's why I gave it so much of a higher score. So 4.25.
Okay. Well, now, this is the part where I throw the wet blanket. I gave this 2 3/4.
Mm.
This, granted, this men's rumble could have been worse, but the first half of it, in my humble opinion, was much better than the second half. And Marcus, you pointed out at least part of the problem in that they saved all of the star power for the end of the damned Rumble. If they had put like 2 or 3 bigger names at the beginning of it, it might have fleshed things out a little better. But the names that I'm thinking about are guys like Styles and LA Knight and a few of those guys. If they had been earlier in the Rumble and had been in there and had more interaction with guys like Penta and Mysterio, maybe bringing in Dominic earlier would have helped with that too. But the first half of the Rumble, I enjoyed to a certain extent. The second half was just garbage. Everything that happened from Roman's entrance on, and a little bit of what happened before that, which I'll get into in a bit. All of that was overhyped, overblown, and let's talk about the fact that Jey Uso won. That did come out of left field. I was happy with it, and I was damn glad that Cena did not win. We're not out of the woods with that shit yet, because he could still win Elimination Chamber and challenge Cody, which would suck balls. But the fact that Jey Uso has punched his ticket after all of the bullshit that they have pulled on him in the last year is a testament to how. Now, Marcus, you mentioned that his work has been the shits lately. And the reason I think that is because the company has been deliberately holding him back in order to make other people's matches look good, especially that Saturday night main event with Walter. That could have been a fantastic match of the year candidate. Instead, it got flushed down the crapper because they are always holding back Jey Uso to keep people from not looking good compared to him. And I think that winning the Rumble is one of their ways to pay him back. If one of the cardinal rules for WWE is if you eat shit for creative, eventually they will give you a little something to make it worthwhile. And I don't know if Jey is going to win the title or not at WrestleMania. It's about a 50-50 chance, but if he does, then kudos to him, because he's got enough talent to where he can hold the position, and he should have been treated a whole lot better up to now.
We'll
Should
see.
someone different have won the Rumble? I agree with Ty. Maybe Styles, maybe McIntyre, somebody along those lines might have worked too. But I'm not unhappy with Jey Uso. Biggest surprise, probably the elimination of McIntyre by Priest. I've heard rumors that was unplanned, that was a screw up.
Yeah.
And I was surprised by that. But otherwise, this whole Rumble, other than the ending, was very predictable, very cookie cutter, and most of it I couldn't stand. Best save happened at the beginning of the match, a couple of them, where Mysterio and Penta interacted, and both of them fell over the top rope and damn near eliminated each other, to where the ring would have to be empty for a minute and a half. That was about the coolest visual at the beginning of the match. Best elimination, that fucking turd I Show Speed.
Oh,
That was almost my jump over the rope moment. Okay, that something just barely beat it out, but that little son of a bitch getting put into the match in space of Tozawa, who has been treated like dog shit since NXT, that whole thing pissed me off, and I was just happy that Breaker tore his ass in half and dumped him like the garbage that he is. Fuck that little turd. I'm glad that elimination happened. But anyway,
you and I both.
Yeah, but my overall rating was 2 3/4, and I'll get back to my jumped over the rope moment. Bobby, I can't wait to hear what you think of this match.
Well, some of you will agree with me and some of you won't. I'm just gonna say that right now. Winner, Jey Uso, which was also my biggest surprise. I did not see that coming. I did not see that coming at all.
I don't think anybody did.
No, I think Vegas made a whole bunch of money off that one. You know, but honestly, if you think about it and you sit down and think about it, and that's what I've been doing today, is trying to picture why did they place Uso there. And I know this gets some of your nerves, Rob, but the one thing you got to admit, the man is over and over and over and over with that crowd. Every time his music hits, everybody's shaking their arms. Even Michael Cole with his "I don't have no rhythm" ass is sitting up there trying to do it. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I see why, and you're going to be mad at WrestleMania because I'm predicting he's going to. When you talk about Saturday night's main event, right?
Yeah.
They planted the seeds for you to think this man has no chance. He's sloppy. That's why they told him to hold back. Because I think they had this plan from back then. Hold back. Don't do too much because you're going to have another match with them in a very big thing. So hold back for now. So when they see it then, they'll appreciate it. I understand the thought process on it now. It makes sense. I was mad about it too, remember? I was mad about that Saturday night's main event match too.
Yes.
But once I see that he won the Royal Rumble and they made the announcement that he's going after the world title, it made sense to me. They held him back because they're going to have another match. It's a saying. You want to give him a little bit, but you don't want to give him the whole entire bowl of food because who's going to come for seconds if they're already full?
Well, Bobby, just to clarify, I like Jay Uso, and I'm glad that he's over. It's just I wish that he were over under different circumstances and that they would take the handcuffs off him. That's all.
But that's what I'm saying. That's why they had the handcuffs on him. It's because they didn't want him to do too much and not impress anybody in WrestleMania. WrestleMania will be the time where they let the handcuffs off and let him loose.
Well, I hope you're right.
I'm hoping I am too.
But see, I mean, it's a difference between being held back and the stuff, the random moves you do look like shit. Like his
True.
his
I'm
punches,
about to go there until you say something.
his punches are terrible. I
Yeah.
mean, Jey Uso. I mean, what's that got to do with being held back? That's all technique. I mean,
But how many people? I mean, think about it. How many world champions punches look like shit though? There has been world champions punches that look like shit.
But Jey Uso's. I mean, his this overall work is just not good. Period. I mean, maybe he's being held back, but you know, I think he's standing out more. His work is standing out more as being bad now that he's a singles than winning a tag. I think.
You think he needs Jimmy?
And I agree, but I think also when you're held back, sometimes them holding you back and you doing less makes your look bad too, because you're not going full blown like you used to. So we got to see. And I think WrestleMania is going to give the tail of the tape. Who should have won? Man, that's a good question. Because in the men's Royal Rumble, it's not like Jordan Grace. You know, Jordan Grace has that presence to where it's like, yeah, that should be her. You know what I'm saying? I honestly, in the men's Royal Rumble, didn't see anybody that I could have said that should have just definitely won. LA Knight, maybe. You know what I'm saying? I could give it to him, but other than that, I think Uso would have been my second because he is over with that crowd like he is. So, and don't get me wrong, LA Knight is too, but Uso just god dog. That's just crazy. But yeah, I would have to say I'm happy with who won. Now, best save is also my best elimination, and that's that piece of shit Speed. Because if you remember, when Brian Breaker got through breaking that motherfucker in 30 pieces like a fucking Boy Scout couldn't put them together,
Otis caught him.
Yep, and that was the best save because I liked the way they threw him and Otis caught him.
Yeah.
But the best elimination is the overhead throw that Otis did down to the table. I loved it.
What's really sad is that skinny motherfucker had to dump Otis first. That pissed me off.
Yep,
Otis has eaten a lot of shit for no goddamn reason, and that was just the rotten cherry on a diarrhea sundae.
But you know what? He drank his Pepto-Bismol a few minutes later when he tossed his ass into that fucking table.
Well,
it was a beautiful thing. My thing is this though. When it comes to that, and I told that to Tony last night, and Tony was like, "Well, as a podcaster, I'd be happy." I was pissed off when he threw him in that Royal Rumble thing, because you have plenty of independent wrestlers in the arena there in Indianapolis. I know a few of them that was there already. You know what I'm saying? You had independent wrestlers. You had a whole bunch of people that you could have threw in there that have actually been in that ring and earned a chance to get that shot. And you put him in there. I'm sorry, that was an insult to every. I don't disagree with Triple H that many times, but this is one that pissed me off. You had fucking, if you wanted to do something, you had what's his name from fucking Columbus there. I know he was there. Flash Flanagan.
You had
Why
guys.
the fuck you didn't put Flash Flanagan in there?
Why the fuck didn't they put Ron Simmons in there? The son of a bitch was right there at ringside. He's a Hall of Famer and a legend. They had Hall of Famers around the goddamn ring, but they wouldn't put him in the fucking Rumble.
I think it would have been funny if they had put Ron Simmons in there when you put it in there because he could have speared the shit out of him, threw him over the top rope, and all of a sudden Ron Simmons stand up and say, "Damn," and then walks off. That was fucking hilarious.
Yeah, here's the saddest part of all. Tozawa is a great performer, and they screwed him in order to have that stupid ass, dumbass participation trophy moment.
Hey, he get his money though.
Well, money isn't everything. So, what did you rate the match, Bobby?
4.
Wow. Okay.
I did like it. It's just some little parts that I didn't like.
Yeah. I had decidedly mixed feelings. Moving on to our jumped the ropes moment for the Royal Rumble, aka what we would call a tap out moment, but it's a jump the rope moment, as in jump the shark, jump the skip rope, whatever the hell you want to call it. It was our worst moment of the Rumble, and in honor of the inventor of it, Marcus Buckley, let's let you go first. What was your jump over the rope moment?
Okay. Well, my moment was just like you guys. That shit was speed. I mean, that was. I mean, two guys that came to mind that I'm really, and I guess that should have been my shock that was not in this match was Tonga Loa and Obafemi. How could a guy that's in the bloodline right now and a guy that's NXT champ, you have TNA's world champions, but yet you have the women's world champion for NXT, but you don't have the NXT men's world champion in there, who you really could have showcased. You really could have showcased it. Well, go ahead, Tony. I'll finish with Tony. I'll finish.
My jump the rough moment in the pay-per-view, sorry guys from my mouth, was that fucking bitch Nikki Bella returning at number 30. Nikki Bella coming back in at number 30, and my boo Mandy Rose didn't come back. My boo AJ Lee didn't come back. My other boo Jay Carter. I had a lot of boos that didn't come back yesterday, but we get that bitch, Nikki fucking Bella, that no talent skank. Oh,
Tony, look at it this way. At
Nope.
least your OG boo, Trish, was in it.
Yes. My old school boo was in a Trish. I was happy about that. But Nikki Bella, the same woman who John Cena said I would never marry anybody ever again, and then less than a year after breaking up with the bitch was married. He was like, nah. He really meant, nah. I ain't marrying your ass.
Tony, something that you mentioned on the chat. No, it was at the drawing that we had for numbers for our Rumble pool. You said for the women's drawing that if number 30 won and it was somebody that I didn't like, I would be pissed.
Yes.
And you were But you were absolutely right, though. If Nikki Bella was number 30 and I had her, and if she had won, I would have bitched about it.
I know you, Rob.
Yeah, like I said, money isn't everything.
Hey, actually, Tony said when she came out, I can't see Rob face.
I did say that. I'm jumping off here, guys, though, but Nikki Bella, oh my God, that really pissed me off.
Yeah, I don't mind you. Pissed me off, too. Fuck that bitch.
Yeah.
Thank you for joining us on FTW Future Focus.
Yeah,
bye, guys.
Hey, my other part of my tap out is I wish Tony would have stayed on, because it goes to Tony to all those fucked up numbers he gave me for our pool. I had B-Fab and fucking who else did I have? Joe Henry, Last Legend. I'm like, what the fuck is he pulling for me?
Hold on. I gotta ask this shit. I need to ask this shit because I know I'm wild sometimes, okay?
Mm-hmm.
I have some weird ass thoughts. I have some weird ass fucking opinions. I'm one of the first people that will admit it wholeheartedly, okay? What the fuck is up with this Joe Henry bullshit? I don't understand this shit. I don't like this shit. It sounds like a fucking cult to me. It scares the shit. And in love with Joe Henry. And they're like, oh my God!
Okay, now
So
wait
it's
a minute. Wait a
I
minute.
don't,
You're not okay with Joe Hendry having a cult, but it's okay for LA Knight to have a cult.
yeah!
I give up.
No! Joe Henry reminds me of one of them dudes from Children of the Corn.
What the fuck?
Oh, he has the nice hair
You trying to tell me he looks like one of the children of the damned?
yeah, he's gonna kill your ass once he gets you in private.
Oh,
That motherfucker scares the shit out. I'm sorry, that motherfucker serial killer somewhere. I don't know what you say. That motherfucker serial killer somewhere. I don't trust that. I don't trust Joe Henry. No. I just want to know, can somebody explain this to me, please? I'm sorry, Marcus, but I need to know this shit. What is the deal with this motherfucker? Please. Why does everybody like this fucking cold ass dude?
maybe that's what it is. Maybe he's mesmerized by it, because that song is one of those songs that you hear it that really suck, but just stays in your head. I believe in Joe Henry. It's like there's time I gotta put that on mute because it won't the song won't leave my head for days. I don't know what it is.
like Gundam style.
Exactly.
When I hear that song, it almost sends me into a homicidal rage.
Gundam style makes me want to dance and fuck a girl. I don't want to do that with Joe Henry. I want to run and hide in the shower and suck my thumb.
Thank you for joining us on FTW Future Focus.
I'm telling the truth. It scares the shit out of me.
That's all right, but Gundam style scares the shit out of me. I'm sorry. That song, it's I understand that it's for dancing, but when they play it on the radio, especially when it was popular, I wanted to drive a spike into my eyeballs. It was like Macarena. I understand that Macarena was supposed to be about dancing and all that shit,
no.
but
If you heard the actual song, the meaning to the song Macarena, it means something else.
No.
It does?
Yeah.
Really?
What does it mean?
Basically, okay, I'm a 90s kid, and we used to dance to, everybody used to do the Macarena dance.
Yeah.
That song was actually about threesomes and infidelity and stuff like that.
Oh.
See?
They all want me, can't have me, because if they do, they get STD. Yeah.
But everybody was dancing to it and singing to it back in the day. Don't act like y'all ain't never listened to songs and didn't know the actual meaning to it till later.
Oh, yeah.
Don't act like y'all ain't never done that.
Red Corvette.
Y'all were listening. I'm pretty sure back in the day when y'all were kids, y'all were listening to songs y'all ain't had no business listening to and singing. And then when you get older, you find out what the meaning of the song really is.
Half of Prince's songs was like that.
Yeah, I was just talking about this with a guy at work the other day. It's amazing the double entendres that songs had in the 50s, even.
Yeah.
So
even the 90s. Like when I was a kid in the 90s, me and a couple of kids, we were singing and listening to songs we ain't had no business listening to. But then when we got older, we found out what the actual meaning to the song was, and then we were like, "Ah, shit!" I was like, "No, ain't no need for y'all saying it now.
Hey.
Y'all were singing and dancing to it when y'all were little. Ain't no need for y'all at shot now."
Ty, you know it's one more recent, don't you? Soldier
I didn't
Boy.
hear you. What?
You know it's one more recent like that, don't you?
No.
Soldier Boy.
thank you for joining us on FTW.
It's not a joke. It's not a joke. When he talk about Superman, you know what a Superman is?
Yeah.
No.
We got to tell you off the air. We can't say it on the air.
Yeah, you can't tell
good
me
Lord.
because the FCC will be on our ass.
Okay. Well, let's move on. Ty, what was your jump the rope moment?
You
Man, jump the rope moment was Nikki Bella at the Rumble. You couldn't pick somebody. You couldn't pick another female legend to be at the Rumble. You couldn't pick Michelle McCool, Beth Phoenix, if she was still under contract, which I doubt she was. You couldn't pick Michelle McCool, Tori Wilson, Stacy Keibler, Kelly Kelly,
Yeah, Mickey.
Lita, any of the legends that I grew up watching to be the last spot. Y'all had to pick Nikki Bella. I'm telling y'all, she must have needed money that bad ever since the divorce. I guess she needed the money that bad. The divorce messed up her money and everything like that. So she decided to come back and get the bag.
Well, that figures. They might have just invited her to piss off John Cena.
I
since
don't care. John Cena don't want her. John Cena don't want her back. Ain't no need for her trying to get that old thing back. Cena's spoken for her.
Well, speaking of John Cena, that leads into my jump the rope moment. And I call this the biggest waste of 2 minutes ever.
No, I've been called that before.
Thank you for joining us on FTW Future Focus. No, the compared to this, that 2 minutes is highly constructive, okay? I'm talking about the moment where Reigns and Cena stare at each other for like 30, 40 seconds and don't do jack shit. Then Punk's music hits. When I think he was number 25 or something.
27, I think.
Whichever. He wanders out there and takes like the 45 seconds to get to the fucking ring so that his expensive fucking music can play. And then him, Cena, and Reigns just stand there and stare at each other for damn near 2 fucking minutes while the rest of the people that were in the Rumble just like lay around and get this fucking nostalgia pop. Because for whatever reason, watching these idiots stare at each other and not throw hands is somehow a good thing. And this moment encapsulates everything that pisses me off about WWE. And everything about this, doing everything for the moment and for the sake of these pops and things that people get. It was illogical as fuck. It wasted everybody's time, and everyone else in the match, AJ and Penta, and all of these actual good LA Knight, all of these guys that were still in the goddamn Rumble had to sit to the side and let these idiots have their fucking moment, and it irritated me to no goddamn end. And I was so glad when Punk, Rollins, and this shit went on until Rollins' music hit, and then finally everybody fought. So I was glad when Reigns and Punk and Rollins all hit the fucking deck and they didn't win shit. Logan Paul was bad enough. The fact that little bastard got to do I got thrown out but didn't get eliminated because I didn't land on the fucking floor moment, which pisses me off. I will never forgive Shawn Michaels for that shit. I have hated that shit since 1993 and I want it to go away. Anyway, the fact that everything had to stop for that stupid ass moment, that was the biggest waste of time in Royal Rumble history. And that's my jump the rope moment. Bobby, I hate to make you follow that, but please.
I'd be glad to. My jump the rope moment to where everybody who was behind this shit should have been grabbed by the bottom of their trunks, grabbed by the back of their shirt, and flung like their name was DJ Speed or whatever the fuck his name was. I am Speed. And I was
show Speed. I show ass is what his name should have been, but that's not important. And thank you for joining us on FTW.
I'll show him my fucking nuts. Anyway.
Thank you for joining. Go ahead.
But that over the top rope moment was when they fucked around with Jordan Grace's fucking debut as being an official WWE superstar.
I told you they should have.
I'm sorry. I love Jordan Grace. Everybody knows this. You know, her husband, don't get mad at me. It ain't like, yeah, it is like that, but it ain't like that. It's a thing of this. Jordan Grace has earned the respect to come in there and kick ass and take names. Half the females that you had in there do not hold a fucking broomstick, let alone a candle, to fucking Jordan Grace. Jordan Grace should have either tied with Charlotte to win that match, or Jordan Grace should have won it 100% and have Charlotte chase after her to try to get her spot. I'm sorry. It was an insult to her. It was an insult to TNA. It was an insult to my fucking balls. And they need to sit up here and do the right shit. And that was wrong. That was totally wrong. You blew something you could have did for the women's division and blew it the fuck up and made it look like shit. And I'm sorry. It pissed me off. You need to be thrown over the top rope, through the fucking floor, into the basement, in the ring gear, and put in the truck.
Fair enough. Let's move on to I survived the Rumble moment. Bobby, you went last, so you go first on this one.
Jey Uso won the Royal Rumble.
Okay.
He deserves it. He worked his ass off. He's not the best technical wrestler in the world, but you know what? That man worked his ass off to get that spot, and he deserves to have that shot. Even if they don't do it and they let Gunther run off with the title, you know what I'm saying? At least he main evented a WrestleMania. He's done more than CM Punk has, you know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. I mean, I got to give him his props. Jey Uso, good luck. You see, I got the yeet on for you, bro. I got the yeet on for you. You know, the yeet is always on. So
the yeet is on. The yeet is on.
But I really am looking forward to this ride to see what they're gonna do with Jey Uso. I hope they do this moment where Sami Zayn beats Cody and Jey Uso beats Gunther. That's what I'm predicting for WrestleMania this year.
All right. My survive the Rumble moment was the final spot in the ladder match, the Alabama Slam, Cody doing his classic finisher through that damn ladder and basically taking out Owens and leaving him bloody and broken. That was the perfect ending to that match, and it couldn't have ended any other way. And that was one of the reasons that I rated it so highly, is because for once WWE did a hardcore style match, a gimmick ladder match that they didn't hold back. And WWE needs to do more of that, and I was happy to see that happen. So yeah, that was my that was my survive the Rumble. Ty, what was your survive the Rumble moment?
My survive the Rumble moment was the return of Alexa Bliss. It was long overdue. I am so happy. Little Miss Bliss is back. Do I think she's gonna join the Wyatt Six? Maybe. Also, Jordan Grace's debut should have been hyped more. Do better, WWE.
Well, Marcus, you get the last word, I believe, of the show. So what was your survive the Rumble moment?
Well, it's going to surprise you guys. And it happened in the Women's World Rumble. And that was Chelsea Green. I thought she was great in this match. I mean, she was hilarious when Bianca, Naomi, Lash and God, what's her name? What's my girl's name? Jada was all in a circle. Like, okay, yeah, all us black women, we gonna.
Yeah, they were all in the circle. Like, yeah, we gonna beat her down.
I was rolling. That was hilarious. I thought she did great in this match. I mean, I know she's somebody that could really wrestle, and you know she's doing the kind of little how it gimmick. That was I laughed out loud with that shit. I mean,
I was dying. I was dying on that one.
That was good. That was my moment right there.
Cool.
Wait. I remember going to Conant High School in Hospital Estates.
Mm-hmm.
And when I saw that, it took me back. Because it was a big school, all right? Mm-hmm. You had everything there. It wasn't just black, white, and Latino. I mean, we had people like literally from France, literally from fucking Italy. You know what I'm saying? We had it was the United Nations in that damn school.
Exchange students.
Yeah. And I remember it was a group of black girls, looked like they was about to fight. And it was this one white girl. She was cool though. She wasn't no faker. But she walked in there just like Chelsea Green. And it took me back and I started cracking up like, oh hell no. Hell motherfucker. That was hilarious. That Marcus, I'm with you. That was hilarious as hell. If Jordan Grace would have got the proper thing, I would have voted that one. That was my second one, bro.
But you know, overall, I was surprised. I was ready to hate this show because I thought that it was going to be absolutely terrible. I thought the world, there were parts of it that pissed me off, but overall the show was decent, and I didn't have. I had major problems with some of it, but I actually could. The Royal Rumble didn't suck. It could have been a hell of a lot worse. Like I said before the show started, it could have been a hell of a lot worse. And thank God Lesnar didn't show up. The shovel didn't bury the whole fucking roster. I'm happy about that, at least. And it looks like we are about out of time for the show this week. On behalf of Tony Motown Allen, who will be coming back to us next week. The Tigress Ty Nickerson, Marvelous Marcus Buckley, and of course the mastermind Bobby Rogers. I am your not so humble correspondent Robert Black, saying we will definitely see you in the future. Check out Indianapolis, the Indianapolis Steaks. What was the name of the place again, Bobby?
The meat shop. You can't beat they meat, man. You can't
exactly. Check out the meat shop in Indianapolis. Great place to eat steak. And we will see you in the future. And do we have James Brown back, or are we going to play the honor roll?
All I gotta say is, yeah.
Hit it.
Oh, how you feel, brother? Feeling good. You feel good? Feeling good. There's so much bone, brother. How you feel, man? I feel all right. I call your name. I don't want no people to know you're in here. How you feel, fella? Hey, Jam! Sure getting down. Look at him. Ha. We're gonna have a funky good time. 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 Let's take 'em up, Fred. We gotta take you high, yeah. Ow! Take us higher. Take us higher.